The skies were clear and the weather was fine as the plane carrying the Pope touched down in Australia, the land the locals call the Lucky Country and Down Under. In 1973, a young Polish Archbishop, Karol Wojtyła, visited Australia. 5 years later, he made history when he became the first non-Italian Pope in 400 years. Today, Pope John Paul returned. The Pope appeared startled by the 21-gun salute which welcomed him to Canberra, the Australian capital. On hand to meet him, the country's Labor Prime Minister Bob Hawke and the Governor-General Sir Ninian Stevens. The Pope's visit has generated tremendous interest throughout this vast, sparsely populated country. Only 16 million people live in Australia, 4 million of them are Catholics. The Pope will meet as many as he can, travelling more than 11,000 kilometres as he crisscrosses the country.
But on this occasion, you will visit all states and all territories. You will cross the country from coast to coast, from east to west, from Tasmania in the south to the Northern Territory. You will, in fact, see the heart of our country. This great expedition, Your Holiness, will allow you to meet the young and the old, the sick and the disadvantaged, people of many faiths, our Aboriginal people, and those who have come from other lands to join our Australian community.
It is with great gratitude and joy that I set foot on Australian soil. Gratitude to God who has enabled me to make this visit, and joy at the thought that I am among friends.
Despite that friendship, the Pope will be the centre of the largest security operation Australia's ever seen. He's a gregarious man who loves to meet people, but fears for his safety have been heightened by yesterday's car bomb explosion which wrecked the Turkish consulate in Melbourne, Australia's second largest city. The Pope visits Melbourne on Thursday, but papal security officials have downplayed the bombing, saying it's unrelated to the tour. This is the Pope's 32nd overseas tour and the longest. Journalists travelling with him say he's been showing signs of fatigue already, but there was no indication of that today, day one of Pope John Paul II's Australian tour. Two Pope-mobiles have been specially imported into Australia to provide John Paul with protection.
Well done! Oh!
off through the streets of Canberra to an open-air mass.
Will be standing by.
It's estimated that between 60 and 100,000 people attended this first of 8 open-air masses. Religion, spectacle and sheer entertainment were combined to provide a moving ceremony under the hot Australian sun.
As they approach the podium now, a development in liturgical activity in recent years in the church has been the increased presence in some areas of movement in prayer, liturgical movement, or as it is sometimes referred to, liturgical dance.
You are, all of you, sons of God through faith in Christ Jesus.
The only hitch came when lay preacher Marie Flynn, overcome by heat and emotion, was unable to continue speaking. The Pope himself made special reference to Australia's Aboriginal inhabitants and the country's religious pioneers.
They too were moved with compassion by what they saw around them. Selflessly, they served Christ in the convicts, in distressed and unprotected women, the Aboriginal women, and the scattered flock of the interior. The Christian pioneers of the 19th century truly shared the sufferings of Christ and experienced the power of his resurrection.
Later, 100 people received communion from the Pope.
May the God of all consolation bless you in every way and grant you peace all the days of your life. Amen. May he free you from all anxiety and strengthen your heart in his love.
Tour organisers have arranged a gruelling itinerary that will take John Paul from the mild spring weather of Hobart in the south on Thursday to the tropical heat of Darwin on Saturday. Tomorrow, the man they've dubbed the Travelling Pope will be off travelling again, first to Brisbane and then on to Sydney. visit to Australia. There were emotional scenes at Canberra airport as thousands gathered to bid him farewell. Polish Australian children sang "May You Live for 100 Years." Everyone wanted to meet the Pope. He spent his last few minutes making sure that as many as possible did just that. Earlier, Pope John Paul had urged representatives of the 65 foreign diplomatic missions in Canberra to recognise obstacles to peace and work to overcome them. A quick wave from the top